Woo! That's good. Ooh, it's time to talk about the movies I watched this week. My friend over there in Wales, he watched a few movies that I never heard of. But I guess we all do that, eh? We all can't hear of everything, all the movies. I must watch movies that never heard of. You know, Harry, Jay, you know, all those people. Anybody for that matter. You can't watch everything. You don't know everything. There's no such thing. Alright, enough of that bullshit. Let's start talking about the movies I watched this week. Everybody wants to know. So many of you. Sometimes I can't keep track. What did I watch? Oh. Don't talk all day. It's kind of hard to start talking. Tarzan and the Leopard Woman, 1946. Yeah, Tarzan and boy take on a murder cult and must pay with their lives. Well, there's a murder cult. There's people dressing up in leopard skins, right? And you're killing the people. Tarzan and boy starts investigating. They get caught up in it too. Anyway, I can't tell you much more than that. Of course, you know, always this is the story. If I say too much, I spoil it. Not that everybody and their mother watches Tarzan movies. And then I watched The Life of Jimmy Dolan, 1933. Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Loretta Young. Fairbanks on the run as he thinks he killed a reporter. You know, everybody's jostling back and forth. The reporter wants to know something. He's getting in his face. He lands and smashes him in the face. He lays down. He goes, oh no, he's dead. Everybody, oh, he's dead. He runs away. Right? Runs away. Yeah. Meets up with Loretta Young and stuff like that. So, anyway, I gave that a 7. And I did watch Midway. The new Midway, that one from last year, I think it was, or this year. Yeah, I watched that again. I watched it before, but I felt like watching it again, so I watched it. I forget who's in it all. But what did I give it? I think I gave it a 7 or an 8. So it's not a bad, not a bad movie. Nothing wrong with it. Although I do lean towards the original. A little bit more. Henry Fonda, I think, was in it. But this one's pretty good. Then I watched Buffalo 66 from 1998, starring Christina Ricci. She's nice to look at, especially in 1998. Dirty old man. I know, I can't help it. What are you going to do? This guy gets out of jail, eh? Yeah, he gets just out of jail. Well, on TV, right? Movie. Gets out of jail, phones up his mom and dad, and they're yapping away and all that stuff. Anyway, he goes... Anyway, the point of this is, he kidnaps a girl, a young girl. Christina Ricci, right? He kidnaps her, and he tells her he's taking her to meet his mom and dad, and they're married. And he wants to introduce her as his wife, and all this stuff, right? So it's like, oh yeah. So she goes along with it. And anyway, I gave it a 5. It's like, what's that word in movies? So you know, what's that word? Repetitive. So I gave it a 5. Buffalo 66. What year was? Did I say 98? 1998. Yeah. Didn't even write in it what year it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Then I watched this one. This was funny. It was all right. I liked it. Nanny McPhee's Return, 2010. Right? Emma Thompson, I think it was. Yeah, Nanny McPhee helps a young farm wife tend to her children and her cousin and their 2 cousins. right? And kids on the farm. So Nanny McPhee shows up to give them a hand. That's funny. That's okay. So it's good for a laugh. But it only gets a 6. Just gets a 6. But it is funny. I did like it. I might watch it again 5-10 years from now. Yeah. Anyway. And then I watched The Way Back. Ben Affleck. He's a troubled man, struggles with alcoholism while coaching the basketball team at his old high school, right? Yeah, he gets asked to coach, and so he goes there and coaches. But he's an alcoholic. You know, there's reasons why sometimes there are reasons why people turn to be alcoholics. And then sometimes the only reason they're alcoholics is because they like drinking. But some people have a reason. They get down in the dumps and they think by drinking it will get them out. It doesn't always work that way though. But anyway, it's not a bad movie. I gave it an 8. I liked it. The Way Back, give it an 8. Yeah, catch that if you can. I forget where I watched it at now. That one. Where did I watch that at? Tubi? Yeah. Anyway. And then, I watched, what is it, Nemesis? Yeah, I watched that. Yeah. Wait a minute, I did watch Nemesis. It says here I watched Insurrection. But I did watch both of them, so maybe that one's from last week. Anyway, I watched Nemesis. Yeah. The end of Gordy, or not Gordy, Tata, or whatever. You know. It was alright, I liked it, I gave it a 7. And then I watched Vendetta on Crave from 2022. Yeah, Vendetta. When his daughter is brutally murdered and legal justice looks unlikely, a man takes the law into his own hands. It's one of those initiation. His daughter sitting outside waiting for her. He's inside getting a pizza or whatever, and these punks come along, take her out of the car and just shoot her for initiation. You're gonna be a tough guy, you gotta shoot this broad. I shouldn't say broad, that's not right. Young girl, they just shoot her just because. No reason, just shooting her. And nothing's gonna happen to these punks, so he takes it upon himself to take the law in his own hand. Bruce Willis is in it too for 10 or 15 minutes. I gave it a 4. One of Bruce's movies. I know. But still, the movie gets a 4. Not a very good movie. I would definitely not watch it again, put it that way. And then I watched this one. I watched this one again. The Whole Wide World, 1996, starring Vincent D'Onofrio and Renee Zellweger. Right? This is the story about Robert E. Howard, Conan the Barbarian, and etc. And he's writing his pulp magazines back in the 30s, right? He meets up with a young school teacher, and they go out for a couple of years, go to shows, drive around, stuff like that, right? Anyway, most of you know what happens to Robert E. Howard, but I'm not going to say on here, right, on this movie. You have to watch the movie, this movie here, to get the gist. And then I don't know, am I right, 40 years later or something, she writes a book. She writes a book, The Whole Wide World. Yeah. So, there you go. Yeah. Nolan Price. If you look that up on Amazon, the book, right? It's by Nolan Price. Novallyne Price. Nolan Price. You'll see this in a book. I want to see one day. I want to see if I can get the book and read the book. So I'm interested in that. And then I watched Wyck. Wyck. Yeah. Gene Tierney, lovely-looking girl, and Vincent Price. You should see Vincent Price in this. He's tall, he's thin, he dresses well. 1946. Takes place on a mansion by the sea. Yeah, he comes and picks up his cousin, I guess, takes her out there for a visit. Anyway, one thing leads to another, they get married. His second wife dies. Somehow she dies, she gets a cold and dies, which even me at times said, that doesn't sound right. So you gotta watch, of course you gotta watch the movie, right? But then, as you're watching the movie, in the beginning of the movie, Spring, I think it's Spring Byington. She's an actress. She's been in lots of movies. She's the main lady in the house, taking care of the house, right? You know, there's one main lady take care of this big mansion. She's in it for, let's say, half the movie, right? Like, just say half the movie. And then he has a daughter. Him and his second wife, they have a daughter. The daughter's about maybe 6, 7. Little blonde girl, little daughter. And as time goes by, you do notice that you never see them again. They're like gone. You never mentioned, never talked about, nothing. Right? So halfway through the movie, here's Spring Byington roaming around, drawing the beds and the curtains and talking about food and all this stuff. And the little girl comes out and wants to hear the piano and all that kind of stuff. And then halfway through the movie, that's it. And then continue on with the rest of the movie. You never see or hear from them again. I find that very, very, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Upsetting. I don't like movies like that. Where'd they go? You never mention them again. I think that's stupid. I like the movie, but still stupid. Yeah, Dragon Wyck, 1946. And then I watched The Help. 2011, yeah, a young girl, decides to write a book about the help. All the black people, the maids, you know, the maids that help their parents and all the things that the maids have to put up with, like they can't use the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, and they make their own bathroom out in the garage. They build them a bathroom, and they can't touch this, they can't, all that kind of stuff. She writes a book about everybody in the neighborhood. It's fun, I'm telling you. The Help. I think I gave that an 8. And then Love, Laughs, and Andy Hardy, 1946. Andy gets out of the army, wants to go to college. He meets a girl, falls in love with her, and wants to marry her. The only problem is she's going to marry somebody else. Oh shit, I just spoiled that to you. You'll never watch that movie anyway. Give it a 7. And then I watched Elektra. Here's one for you. Everybody forgets about Elektra. Is she a superhero or just an assassin? She's an assassin. She's sent somewhere to kill 2 people, a man and a girl that looks to be about 13. Anyway, Elektra changes her mind. You know what happens when you change your mind with all these movies, right? Somebody's gonna kill you. Anyway, not a bad movie, pretty good. Lots of fun, lots of excitement. Elektra. Yeah, nobody talks about this movie. I give it a 7. Nobody talks about that movie. And then Queen Christina. Yeah, 1933, Greta Garbo, Queen, Sweden. Yeah, she decides to go for a ride in the countryside. She likes doing that, so nobody knows who she is. Pretty good. What did I give that one? Oh, I gave it an 8. And then calvalcade, 30 years, right, of family from 1899 to 1929, I guess. Yeah, pretty good movie. Best picture from 1933. Yeah, Cleve Brooklyn, Diana Wingard. Yeah, this is pretty good, decent movie. Yeah. Things that happen to people in 30 years of family in 30 years, right? All in the same house. So that's it, people. Rick and Bob will be on tomorrow. The Bob and Rick show's up tomorrow, so we'll talk to you later. Have a good week. Give somebody a hug. Keep watching those movies.
Why did we just go to light speed?
I don't know. I'll think about it.